here to talk a little bit about one of the guitars I have selected to demonstrate to you all. Over the next few weeks I'll be looking at a couple of different guitars. I had to thin out my collection to only a couple. I will be going through a little bit of one of each of these ones in the background that you see. I hope you can see them. Some nice, some not so nice, but all guitars that I love to use. This is the first of the few that I'm going to talk about. It is around $600, this guitar. It's a Squire J5, and surprisingly it plays pretty well. It's an alder body guitar. It's actually a lot heavier than any of my higher end guitars. So this is a 52 original, and it is alder as well, and it doesn't weigh quite as much as this. I don't know if it's because of the paint job that they've done on this with the sparkle or whatnot, but this is an ash wood, and it weighs a little bit more than this one weighs a little bit more than this. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with this guitar, but I just wanted to demonstrate a little bit about what it is. I'm not keen on the electronics on this guitar, to be honest with you. I do like the bottom pickup because it can be very high and you can get that really, I guess, distorted harmonic kind of feel. It represents that very well, but especially on high gain. However, overall the guitar is great, other than the electronics, I would have to say. It's got some interesting features. It's got the double binding, and they didn't really cheapen out on this for an Indonesian guitar. It's got a very nice feel to it, and they've actually beveled it a bit, so it's not like they just put a piece of tape on it or a sticker or whatnot on it. It's actually painted all the way through from top to bottom, in and out. They have the gold roller, which I like. I don't see that too often. I see more of the tree strings on it, but I do like the roller, as you saw in my previous Strat video. And the interesting thing is John 5 actually took out the chord jack, and he put a Strat version one, so we don't have to go through here to tighten it from inside, but we could just take out the screws here and tighten the nut from inside, which is great. It makes it less of a pain. That's the only thing I don't like about Telly's, although it's interesting because he kept the slap body here, and he conformed this to a toggle switch. My issue with this toggle switch is it is great. It does what it needs to do, and it does justice to what it does. However, it's very easy that it kind of slips. So in another video I was doing, it slipped and I didn't realize. It's very hard. It's not built the best way for this toggle switch, I find. However, that's why I always keep it at the bottom, because that's the only one I use. It's great for pick harmonics. Love this guitar for punk stuff like this guitar. Well, the action is done pretty good on this guitar, I must say, for a very simple what I was going to tell you is, if you didn't notice, I actually changed the intonation of this, and I find that it's still off. Even though the tuner peg tells me that it's dead on, it tends to shift. So that's one of the constructural defects of this guitar, I find. But it did come in perfect when I got it, meaning the action was good. I've never switched the strings on this. It's pretty good. I've opened this up before just to take a look at how they soldered it, and it's supposed to be a backwards design. So it's supposed to be, this is supposed to be the bridge pickup. However, it doesn't seem to be the case when I use this one. So I've had mixed reviews when I looked online to see what was up with that. So it's an inconsistent product in some sense. Okay, so I guess that's why we pay the big bucks. This guitar is available as a custom shop as well, if you have the money, but for 600 bucks I think it's a pretty stable guitar. The only thing I guess I would switch around are the pickups, but other than that, the action's pretty good on it. And I like the fact that he didn't put any tone knobs, so you can really control the guitar, as well as the fact that the volume knobs here don't get in the way, because normally they would be closer upward, but he's moved them back a bit so they're not in the way, and he's left it. So even though the toggle switch was supposed to be here and it's moved to here, he's kept this spacing free for you to put a kill switch if you want, which it is doable on this kind of guitar, or you could actually fit a battery in it to put active EMG pickups if you wanted to. One thing I wanted to mention is, the interesting thing about this is you could actually, if you did prefer to have those volume swells, you could actually put this opposite, right? So we could take this off and flip it around. Other than that, the guitar's pretty good. I think that the nice finishing touches like the rosewood, it definitely holds up to any kind of Jackson or ESP guitar. I would say the construction is pretty close for an Indonesian guitar. I know it's hard to say, but it's true. It has a synthetic nut as well. That's interesting features. They definitely didn't cheap out on this guitar. You can see even the ebony has been pulled out, and they've actually inserted the pearl inlays, which is interesting. I think that's what they do on a lot of high-end rosewood guitars nowadays. But I would compare it to the construction and the build to a classic 5, no problem. Great guitar. The only thing is, I would probably change these to soap bars, P90s, or I don't know, maybe a TV Jones for that clearer sound. I really don't use any other pickup other than the bottom one, and it does strike through. It's cosmetically speaking a beautiful guitar. It's just the electronics is not my thing, but if you're willing to spend $300–400 on the electronic, this could be a really great guitar. It looks great, smells great, so it must be good. The way I see it is, if it feels good in your hands, it's great. A guitar. They call this a modern C-shaped kind of neck, and I think John 5 enjoys playing these kinds of guitars because he says he has kind of girly hands, and for me it's very comfortable to play. However, the transition from playing a Dinky Pro Jackson is hard to go back to one of those other guitars. So once you have something like this in your hands, it's not even plugged in, but when you have something like this in your hands, it feels totally different. And when you get used to playing a guitar that's kind of thrash metal like this, it's kind of easier to play a guitar like this. Anyways, thanks for listening to my review. There are plenty of other guitars I'd like to go through, and they will be talked about over the next few months. Some are built great and some are not built so great, but all these guitars in the back stash here are guitars I will be discussing in the near future. I've narrowed down to about 32 different guitars that I'd like to talk about over the next few months. Thank you very much, and have yourself a great day. Peace.